Yeah, I'm
All right. Good morning, old school Texas Tech. Hope everyone's doing well. We're shooting the video a little bit late this morning, but still before all the games start. How are you doing, Red?
good, man. I'm just glad I'm able to watch the game today because I have YouTube TV and they pulled the rug out from under a lot of us in the last 24 hours with yanking ABC and ESPN. So I lost half the lineup, but I checked and I do have the most important game on the docket this weekend, which would be us against Kansas State.
Yeah. Who's Notre Dame playing?
They play at sorry Boston College team.
Boston College. All right.
That's one of the games that YouTube TV took away because that was an ESPN lineup.
Ah,
One of the
all
games.
sorts of interesting things going. See, we just get everything pirated down here.
Good to me.
All right. So we'll go ahead and start. West Virginia at Houston.
I'm going to take Houston in that one, home team, and then they seem to be on a little hot streak. Although they may have spent all their energy beating Arizona State, but I'm going to say I think Houston wins. I'd be shocked if they blew that game because West Virginia's. Let's be honest, they're pretty terrible, right?
Yeah, they're pretty rough. They're not quite as bad as Oklahoma State, I don't think, but they're pretty bad.
Yeah, Oklahoma State's probably bottom 10 in all of college football, though, right?
Yeah, their numbers are bad. Central Florida at Baylor.
I think Baylor's going to win this one. They're scoring a bunch of points. They just can't seem to stop anybody from scoring, and they're at home, and they're going to be pissed off. I think they've lost a couple of heartbreakers late, or games that they look like they were kind of clawing their way back into.
But then they won that one against K-State by just 1 point right at the end.
They were down by a lot too, weren't they? Weren't
Yeah,
they
yeah,
down? I think they were down
yeah,
14 to start the fourth, and then they pulled it away. I don't know. I just know that.
yeah.
And it's funny. We can talk about another time, but I saw Art Briles reemerge a couple.
Yeah, I saw that. He was all over YouTube yesterday.
He's looking pretty rough, man. But then I remembered he's an old man, so I thought, man,
Yeah.
years have not been kind to that gentleman.
He's been through a lot. Arizona State at Iowa State.
I am switching this one. I had originally thought Arizona State potentially, but now without that Sam Levitt kid at Iowa State, I think Iowa State wins that one soundly. I think Arizona State, their Super Bowl, as you aptly put it in another conversation, was against us, and they spent everything they had to win that game, and now they lose a week later to Houston, and they're going to lose again today to Iowa State, so they can enjoy their 5-4 record.
All right. So here's the big one. Texas Tech at K-State.
Oh man, I isn't our record against Kansas State like 1-8 in the last 9 games?
We won in 2015 at home. We won in 2008 when Leach was head coach in Manhattan. So it's been we also won 2009 at home too, I believe. Yeah, we won
So we
2009 at home
won.
too.
Okay, we're what
We've
three?
won like three in the last 17 years.
Oof. Wow. Okay, yeah, my math is a little off.
But we didn't play him, but we didn't play him last year or something.
I was gonna say, so we're what are we? 3-14, 3-13
Oh,
against,
it's a terrible. If you're going off record of the last 15, 20 years, it's not good.
and that's why I've struggled with this one. I've kind of I feel like it's a different team, different everything. I was having this chat with my brother about it, and he looked at it and goes, "K State, how you feeling? Looks like you guys can easily win that one." And I was like, "Well, only Tech fans know what our record is against them since the year 2000." So I gave him a scenario that he would understand. I said, our record against them is about as bad as USC's against Notre Dame. And he was like, "Ooh." So I'm still going to go with Texas Tech. I
All
think,
right.
it's a homer pick. But I think this team, we had our bad game against Arizona State on the road. If we play like we did against Arizona State 2 weeks ago, though, we're done.
Yeah, we'll lose. We'll lose if we
Boy,
play
I'm
like
saying
that.
Texas Tech pulls this one out. I do.
But we're gonna have a different quarterback, everything. All
Yeah.
right. OK State at Kansas.
I mean, Kansas is. I mean, I'm going to pick whoever Oklahoma State plays against. I mean, they're that bad. Uh,
Yeah.
this is gonna win that game very
All right.
easily.
This is kind of the closest thing to like a really the K State Tech game's an interesting game for a lot of reasons, but this is another one that's kind of interesting. Arizona at Colorado.
That is interesting. Colorado just got the brakes beat off of them by Utah, didn't they? I mean, it was
Yeah, badly.
annihilation.
Yeah.
Don't know. I've watched a lot of football over the years. I don't know how many teams have bounced back a week later to win after getting beat like they got beat like a drum, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that part of me thinks that Dion could pull it out, but another because I mean they've already beaten Iowa State. But part of me thinks that if you get beat 53-7 and get annihilated in the trenches, you're not just gonna bounce back that easily a week later. I'm gonna take Arizona to win that one.
All right. And then Cincinnati at Utah. That's college game day.
This is the one that I was interested in. Yes, yes. And I know isn't Cincinnati is undefeated in Big 12 play, correct?
Yeah, but the spread is crazy. Vegas has it at 10.5, Utah 10.5 point favorites.
10.5.
The
Wow.
last time I saw it, don't quote me on it.
Well, I know sometimes it moves a point or two, but not more than that.
Yeah.
Knowing nothing about it, I would have said the home team probably has a. I would have guessed if you said, yeah, it's at Utah, I would have said maybe Utah by 5 or 6, maybe 6.5 max, but 10.5. I am going to go ahead and say that I think I don't even really know anything about, dude. I haven't even seen Cincinnati play this year at all. I know
Just
they
a
got
few highlights for me.
they got that Sorsby kid still at quarterback. I can't
Yeah, he's beat up. He's beat up. And then the guy for Utah might not play either, but Utah's been playing all sorts of games with the injury reports. So,
So is it that Eric Dampier guy?
well, yeah, but he may or may not play. Nobody knows.
I'm going to go ahead and roll with Utah only because it's at home, and I think Cincinnati's due for a loss. And I know how physical Utah is as a team. I could see them pulling this one out. Vegas has a little something. If this was at Cincinnati, I think I'd pick Cincinnati though.
Vegas is usually right. They really are. I heard Lane Kiffin. I mean, they make mistakes every once in a while, but Vegas is usually right. It's
They're very consistent. Yeah,
they have a remarkable track record. All right,
I'm
West
gonna.
Virginia. Go ahead.
I'm gonna roll with Utah. I know I already said that.
Utah. Okay. Well, it was what I feared. We had the exact same picks again. Uh,
And we never talk about this before we get on
no,
here.
no. All right, so West Virginia at Houston. I think Houston clearly wins that game. I don't even think it's close. UCF at Baylor. I think there's problems. I think there's definitely problems at Baylor. I think isn't Aranda on the hot seat a little bit?
He's been on the hot seat yeah, he is. And then
Yeah,
dropped a couple here and there. I don't know how popular he is in Waco, to be honest.
and they're not many people are going to the games either. But I'm still going to take Baylor despite all that. I agree with you on Arizona State, Iowa State. I think if Arizona State wouldn't have had that quarterback, what's his name?
That
The the quarterback for Arizona State.
his
What
name's Levitt. It's like Sam Levitt or Jim Levitt.
Levitt? Yeah, if they wouldn't have had him, we would have easily won that game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Iowa. I'm taking Iowa State. I'm taking Tech to beat K State. We'll talk about that more. Of course, I'm taking Kansas. They're going to be upset because they got lit up by Kansas State last week too. And then this is the only one that I struggle with a little bit because I still think I still think Dion's doing a pretty good job. But I'm not that I think that Arizona coach is a little less than inspiring. So I almost picked Colorado here, but I'm gonna stick with Arizona. It's really close for me though. That's the only game that I considered flipping. But I'm going to go with Arizona. Cincinnati at Utah. Boy, if Cincinnati were to go up there and win that, that would sure be a statement game. That would be probably one of the biggest games in school history for them. I would think that would be a huge game for them. but I'm going to take Utah. I just think they're too tough at home. All right, so we got the same picks. This I think this is like the fourth or fifth time this year we've had the exact same picks.
Man, I don't know what to say about that. I just want to have a slightly better record than you at the end of the season. That's all that matters, you know.
Yeah, well, I think they're just there's been a lot of games that are mismatches, but I heard I was listening to Chris Level, and there's actually going to be some pretty good games in the last few weeks. So we'll probably separate a little bit. All right. So what do you think detail wise, Texas Tech at K State?
You know, if I'm going on a final, I'm going to go with the final score. I'm going to say I think that we pull out a 31-24 type game. I think it's going to be a slugfest the entire way. I'm concerned only in the fact that I know our road woes the last several years, and you know that those road woes crept up 2 weeks ago against an Arizona State team that I didn't think we would lose to, and they outplayed us. I thought they outplayed us more than the final score would indicate. Not to keep harping on that game. That game truly shocked me though. And K State seems to have figured some things out in the last couple
Oh,
weeks.
definitely,
They
definitely.
like they're on the rise. And then hey, Matt Wells has the personal component there too, man. You don't think he's going to try to call the best game of his life to get back at his old employer? I mean,
Yeah, I know.
you know,
Uh,
deep down, he'll if they interviewed him, he'd say, "Oh, it's just another game." They all say that, but deep down, you know, he's like, "Man, if I can score 80 on these guys, I'm doing it." You know,
Good luck with that.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I just my biggest concern with this team though is I mean with Will Hammond going down, I am concerned though because Baron Morton just doesn't hold up, man. He gets sacked or hit. He's always in. He's I don't know, man. His
The Griffin kid's pretty good too, though. I wouldn't say like if he comes in the game's over or anything.
sure, but
He's pretty he's
how many teams do you know that can this late in the season has a third string quarterback? Let's just say what if most teams are completely and utterly screwed if they're third string.
yeah.
It's just that simple. They can have all the talent in the world. So
Yeah, but we're not screwed if Griffin comes in, I don't think.
Baron Morton needs to find a way to stay healthy. I have my concerns that he can because he hasn't shown the ability to do that in 4 years on campus. So I'm like, O line, Sampson,
Well,
please.
they're a little beat up too. There's a couple of there's those guys that are questionable. But yeah, Samson's going to be really important, like he always is.
I think he's been kind of letting up in pass protection in recent weeks. There's been some times where I've seen him getting beat at the line of scrimmage. So I'm concerned in that sense. I think there's going to be moments today though where we're going to go, but I think ultimately we're going to pull it out and win 31-24. I don't think it's going to be in doubt until I think we may pull ahead with about 5 minutes left in the game. But this is going to be a slugfest, and I'll take a 1 point victory. I don't care if it's 31 to
Oh,
30.
me too. Me too.
It's like just win. Cut this nonsense of losing to Kansas State every year. I'm just tired. 3-15 or 14,
Whatever
whatever
it
it is.
is.
That's
Yeah.
unacceptable. Kansas State, it's not that great of a program. This is ridiculous. Get a win.
They're a solid, consistent program. They block and tackle. They always block and tackle well.
They have 3 wins since 2008. I mean,
Just tells you the dire straits that we've been in. I mean, Joey McGuire's only played him. I think McGuire hasn't McGuire has McGuire played him once or twice.
I want to
I
say
think
because this is year 4, I want to say he's played them twice and we
he's
skipped the
played him
year.
twice.
This will
Well,
be
the first times when they won the Big 12 title game. And that game was actually, if I want to say that game was decent at one point, it was actually close. And then the other time we played them, we had quarterback injury problems. I think it was this, and then we didn't play them last year. I think
what year do we
because
not have quarterback injury problems? I mean,
well,
go
yeah,
back 10 years ago for us
you
to
have to
have
go back to the Leach. You have to go back to the Leach years.
it's elite years. Okay,
Yeah, pretty
it feels like we
much.
can't have any quarterbacks finish up the season, and I know other teams deal with that too. But you know, I'm not making
Yeah.
excuses. We got to figure out a way
Well,
to win. today. This
We
is
haven't had good offensive lines in a long time. We got a pretty good offensive line now. I got Tech winning 31-21. So we didn't even talk, just 3 points difference. I don't think Matt Wells is going to be able to score that many points on Tech. And I think they've got running back ish. They haven't been able to run the ball particularly well. I think that's going to make them one dimensional. I think that we're going to have a little bit of trouble running the ball against them though. And
Yep.
then I think Baron Morton has to play a good game. If Baron Morton doesn't play like one of his better games of the year, then we're in trouble.
How do you see that K State pass rush versus our offensive line? Is he going to have time to find someone in the pocket, or is it going to be 2 seconds and then get rid of it so he doesn't get his head knocked off?
I don't know. I don't know if their pass rush is that good. I know they've got a few guys, but nothing like we have, on our side. I think that it could be a long day for the K-State quarterback. It could be a long day with Romelio Height and David Bailey. I
Let's
think they'll
hope
be
they
ready to
stay
go.
healthy. Because wasn't Bailey hobbling a little bit last week? I mean, these guys have got
They're both playing, man.
they're both
They're
kind of
both playing.
I think they're both, or one of them at least. I think is hobbling a little bit, but okay.
They'll be ready. They'll be ready to go. All right, everybody enjoy it, and we'll see you on the group thread.
All right.